For those of you who don't normally pay attention, Overwatch is free to play this weekend on PC, PS4, and of course Xbox One, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Well, I already have, really. But we're also going to see how my R9 270 runs this game. So at the very beginning, I'm running this at pretty much almost all maximum settings. The main thing that I'm not running maximum is anti-aliasing. Who else would I play for my very first game but Tracer herself, the mascot of this game as far as I'm concerned. Now immediately our performance is fairly good. We are running around 50 frames per second in this opening area right here before the game actually starts. Just as a quick disclaimer, none of these tests are going to be all on the same level. It's technically going to be different levels with each test. And while yes, that's not exactly consistent, it'll give us a general picture of how this graphics card and, well, everything else in the system holds up in this game. So going by what I already know about this game and how graphics cards perform in it, I'm not surprised by the performance at all. If anything, I'm a little surprised the R9 270 doesn't do a little bit better. But once again, like I said, at the same time, the R9 270 is not a top-end graphics card by any means. It's about equal to a GTX 1050, not even a TI version, I would say, or an RX 460 in the AMD camp. As you can see, I suck at this, but I mean, this is only my first game, so can you really blame me? One thing that I noticed when I played a bit of the tutorial versus the actual game, well, before I played the actual game here, is especially when the frame rate is higher, it seems like there's a lot less input lag as the frame rate increases. I don't know, it's really odd, and I've never played a game that I remember in recent memory where it was so pronounced as this one. Screen tearing is also quite prevalent in this game at these high frame rates if you don't use any kind of synchronization option like VSync, FreeSync, or G-Sync, or NVIDIA Fast Sync. There's so many syncs. It does help with the frame tear if you're having that issue. It doesn't really bother me that much. I'd rather have less input lag. Like I said, frame tear does not bother me too much. There are some games where it does, but this one is just not so bad that it really bothers me. It may bother you, but it really doesn't, like I said, bother me all that much. Getting used to Tracer's controls as opposed to just, you know, much more standard FPS games, maybe like TF2, is really kind of odd. This is an interesting game. Like I said, this is only my first time playing it, so it's just a matter of me getting used to it. Anyways, let's move on. So in my bid for a higher frame rate, I changed the graphics settings, restarted the game to enable most of those graphics settings that require a restart. As you can see here, we're pretty much running mostly high settings. I disabled anti-aliasing, but I did keep our texture filtering at 16 times. So it should increase our frame rate a little bit. Once again, I want to reiterate, we're not going to run on the same map we just previously did. We're going to run on something different. But it becomes really apparent that we definitely have an improvement in frame rate. We are still running sometimes at 50 frames per second, but in general, it is a bit improved. When I was playing, there was definitely a lot less lag. It felt like there was a lot less lag, even though there was just a small jump in frame rate. The closer we are to 60, a lot better it feels. It really does. So even with the big, immediate, major increase of action on screen, our frame rate still stays around 50, if not a little bit better in some areas. It definitely feels, like I mentioned earlier, the aiming feels like there's a lot less lag than there was previously, and it's just a jump in a few frames per second. It's really weird, but it feels a lot better. It's a lot easier to aim now.
Under attack. Let's give them something to think about.
Looking for me?
Anyways, let's move on. Knowing that we do pretty well on high settings, but I still want to get much closer to 60 FPS, if not greater, I decided to move it down to sort of a mix between medium and high settings that I feel are going to give us, you know, very good visuals, but still give us the extra performance that we really feel like we need. Of course, once again, we got to restart the game to enable those new visual settings.
I am not deterred.
And just what I wanted, we are much closer to 60 FPS now, which is just much more ideal for this game. Even with just the increase in a few FPS, once again, I'm going to reiterate it for the millionth time. The input lag feels a lot less pronounced now. It feels so much better. Now, since it came out, I really haven't paid much attention to Overwatch, but, you know, after playing it for the first time, I gotta say, not only is it well optimized, it looks really good, the art style is really nice. I gotta give props to Blizzard. I can really see why people like this game and play it a lot. Especially since it's, you know, in a lot of ways, it very much embodies TF2. It really is sort of a TF2 clone. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. That's how I feel. But it certainly stands out on its own. Now, I don't think I'll be buying this anytime soon, but I'll enjoy it probably for this weekend, and I'm sure plenty of other people will, but I just don't feel like this is the kind of game that I would pay money for, at least anytime soon. Maybe if it went down to $20, I might buy it, but there's just other stuff that I care more about, simply put. And with a few more rounds of play, especially by this point, I feel a lot more comfortable with this game and the way it controls, just the way actions are performed. I mean, like I said, this is sort of a TF2 clone, but it still feels different. I'm not that great at TF2 either. But, you know, after a few rounds, like I said, I got a lot more used to the way this game is meant to be played and how it plays and how it controls, how it feels, etc., etc. Like I said, I won't be buying this game anytime soon, at least I don't think I will. But it doesn't mean I can't enjoy it for these next couple days, and of course it gave me the chance to test this R9 270 out with this game. Most of the videos I've seen online are testing specifically the R9 270X, not the 270 version like I have, which is not fully clocked, a non-fully clocked version of the Pitcairn GPU, or Caracal, in its newer form, in the R9 270 form. But I still have all the shader processors and TMUs and ROPs of that full processor, but it's only clocked at 925 megahertz, as opposed to the full 1 gigahertz or more that R9 270Xs are clocked at. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and shut up now, and I'm just going to let you guys enjoy this last bit of footage that I have for you. I probably will test this game out on the Radeon 7750, which I expect to be able to play this game pretty decently, even at 1080p, just of course with all the settings nowhere near max, or probably not even medium settings, but this game, like I said, still looks good. The art style is really nice. So in conclusion, for you R9 270 owners out there like myself, my recommendations for this game to get that nice blend of visuals as well as good close to 60 FPS, well actually average 60 FPS performance, definitely do a mixture of medium and high settings like you saw earlier. That would be, probably if I was to continue playing this game, that's probably what I would leave it at, like I said, to get that nice mixture of performance, yet it still looks really nice. Anyways, my name is Blitzvogel. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and you got a lot out of it. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more stuff like this. You know there's more coming down the pipeline in the future, including that possibly aforementioned 7750 video running this game. My name is Blitz once again. Thank you guys for watching.